Hey everyone. I don't know why I'm doing this. I guess I got tired of recording games. I don't know how well this is going to turn out. I'm actually kind of anxious about this. I've been drawing in a long time, so this could be super embarrassing, but we'll see. So I don't even know what I'm going to sketch, so I'm just going to be creative and just have fun with it. So, a lot of times, usually I just start with the eye or something. If you hear like breathing in the background, it's probably me and my dog snoring as well. I guess since I'm recording this on Halloween, I'm thinking about drawing something creepy, but to be honest with you, that's usually what I typically draw anyway. Now, this is the first time I've ever live streamed with my phone, so I have no idea how it's going to come out, how it looks, if I'm doing it correctly, how I sound, etc., etc. So, I don't know. I don't even know what this is going to be. Obviously, we have two large eyes. I thought they were going to be pupils at first, but I think I just want this ominous, almost like glowing eyes and like a deep, dark crevice of the skull. And I guess how I'm going to achieve that is just put like an abundance of like shadowing around it to make the light part pop more. There's a lot I want to do with this channel. It's just uh I don't want to get in my personal life, but life's just been throwing curveballs and I haven't been able to keep up more or less. So it's just easier to do gaming videos a lot of the times. And then it's become easier to do videos without commentary. And then I guess sometimes I get complacent. But I also don't want to put out shitty commentary if I'm not feeling it. I'm expanding this creature's head, whatever this creature is. I'm glad these pins worked. I bought them a long time ago. A lot of times they dry up in the package. I actually really enjoy shading with fairly cheap ballpoint pens because the ink's kind of dry and I don't know. I just feel like you can shade with it better than like a gel pen. Like the I believe they're called micron pens. Like I love them for small details and stuff like that, but since the consistency of the ink is always dark, it's hard to do anything subtle without overlapping your lines where like I feel like somewhat with a ballpoint pen, it's like a pencil, like it depends on how much pressure you put on it sometimes. So now I'm drawing at this weird, awkward angle because I'm kind of trying to work around this tiny little tripod and it's very uncomfortable. So if one side of the drawing doesn't look as good as the other side, I don't know. It's starting to look like Megamind with like a gigantic brain. I think I might go with that though. Why not? I've never actually seen those movies before, so I just know it from like the trailers. I feel like he should be wearing some sort of hat or something like that. So give him a little beanie. Always want a little beanie with a propeller on it. I don't know why. I think I saw it on like Little Rascals or Our Gang. Like they would come on it. Sorry, my dog just accidentally hit the table. They used to come on when I was like little, like early in the morning before the cartoons came on. And I think Spanky had one of those hats. I think that's where I first saw him. make it fancy and do some stitch work here. And because its head's so big, let's have it strapped down. Why not with hooks? A micron pin would actually be good for this part, especially if you have a shaky hand like me. It'll get you a really fine line for like stuff like this. Although kind of doing it like this kind of gives it character because it looks like the thread that's holding this down is like shredded at the bottom, and I kind of like that look. If this type of video is something that you're interested in, please let me know because I doubt I'll finish this drawing in this video, and I can just keep adding to it over time if this is something you're into. And I promise the commentary and everything will get better with time. It's just like I'm super anxious and I'm rusty, etc., but I don't want to make bullshit excuses. I just want to be better. So I'm not like a professional artist or anything like that, I would say. So if you're looking how to draw like realism and stuff like that, this is probably not the channel for you. I actually have education based in the arts, but you know, I guess we're our own worst critic. I don't know. Now it's starting to look like the thing from Mars Attack a little bit. Yes, Zoe, I know you took a dump. Congratulations. I know. My cat has to let me know every time she uses a litter box. It's been a thing since she was a kitten, and she's never stopped. Making him look a little slick right here and doing like a heavy like shadow line here. And I'll do some light shadowing outwards that'll give like these little bumps, like some curvature that it normally didn't have. It makes it look like it has more depth to it. It makes it look a little bit more 3D, if you will. Yes, Zoe. Nobody wants to hear you, Zoe. If I'm super quiet like this, I'm just because I'm getting into it. Are you done meowing, Zoe? In my head, like that song, I'm a Maniac, I was just hearing, I'm a brainiac, brainiac, because apparently my mind's like a cartoon. I was playing Spider-Man 2, I like that game a lot, but man, it requires a lot of button mashing more than I would say like a traditional fighting game. It feels like my hand kind of sore from like playing that game. Like I can feel like my wrist being worn out from playing the game just from drawing. That's always been an issue. Even when I was a kid, I wasn't really good at like button mashing and stuff like that. Maybe it's the way I hold the controller. I don't know, but just never liked doing that in games. I was never especially fast at it. Like in Mortal Kombat when it was like test your might in the first one on Sega Genesis. I could do it in the arcade, but on the Genesis port, oh my goodness. Like by the time I got to Ruby or whatever it was, I couldn't do it. And I remember like having to take breaks because my hand would hurt after playing long sessions of video games and stuff like that. So I want to blame it on old age, but it's not it. Maybe it's from drawing for so long, but like I said, I don't think I'm like a professional artist. I just enjoy doing it. I mean, have done it professional in some cases, but I guess I'm not as good as I would like me to be. Maybe that's what it is. Really, all I'm doing to create this brain is to like just create shapes that look brain-like and kind of fit them in like a jigsaw puzzle. Do a lima bean design here. A cool effect if you had like a red pen or marker would be to like drizzle like blood all over it. I don't know. That's what I would do. But if it's an alien creature, like why would it have blood all over it? But maybe it's some sort of fluid or something that keeps it alive. I don't know. You can make it up. You can make up the lore for your monsters. What is up, Zoe? You're never this noisy any other time. Is it because you think I'm talking to myself? If that's the case, I'd be worried too, but it doesn't seem like more so than usual. There must be a bug or something. I don't know. I hear it jumping around. Of course, it'd be when I start a video. I feel like the world is working against my channel, including myself. I wish I had the paper a bit closer to me because it is extending like pressure on my wrist and stuff like that. So, plus doing like detail like that is harder for me to see from far away, even with my glasses. I probably need to get a new prescription soon on top of everything else. Yeah, it's definitely a bug. I just heard her jump up. Probably like a fly or something. It's getting cold out, so I'm sure they're looking for somewhere warm. Why are you meowing this whole time? Maybe have two weird glands here. I don't know what they do, but here they are. Maybe they're venom sacs. Try to darken up this area more to make it look like it's deeper than the rest of everything else. Like I said, I'm not taking this too seriously. This isn't going to be my best work by far. It's not even going to be like a complete drawing. I'm just kind of seeing how it goes. Like, I don't even know how good the picture quality is going to be until I look back at it. But if it turns out to be something good, maybe I'll have like a better setup, a better idea of what to do, etc., etc. It's just difficult sometimes when you're dealing with other stuff to pretend to be enthusiastic. I've never been good at like faking it until I make it. So sometimes, like when it comes to my channel, when I'm going through a lot, I'm either super quiet or I just don't make videos. And sometimes I'd rather just be super quiet. Some people just don't want to hear me talk either, and I get that. So I try to add some variety on my channel for those who don't want to hear me. I just really love creating content. That's always been a love of mine. I've always been scared. Like, even if I could make a career off of YouTube, I've just been terrified because that would drive me crazy trying to please people and stuff like that. And I just don't think I would be very good at it and very good at faking it. So, even if I made good content, so it's probably a blessing I don't have one of the biggest channels where that was ever an option. But, I appreciate those who like this. For me, it kind of journals my life. It's kind of written in code, but when I go back to my old videos, I'm like, oh, I know what I was going through during that time. I know where I was living during that time. To me, it's kind of bittersweet in some ways. There's some good memories, some bad memories, but they're all appreciated memories. They're lessons, I suppose. What does that have to do with the drawing? Absolutely nothing, but that's how it goes sometimes. I guess Student Man just pulled up. This is my next door neighbor. I can hear the car. It's very distinct. It sounds like the engine or the transmission's on its last leg, something. I'm not a car person, so I can't diagnose the problem, but it sounds like it's about to fall apart at any moment, which sucks. I know car trouble all too well. Sometimes I envy those that don't have to rely on a vehicle. Like if you live in like a pretty major city where everywhere you need to go is like on the subway or whatever, that just seems great not to have to worry about a car. But then if you want to go cross country or something like that, I'm sure it's a big deal. You'd have to rent one. If you don't have a license because you never had any use for one, you'd have to get one. So yeah, just trying to make these brain-like textures on this creature just stand out a little bit more. Nothing too fancy, just to get the idea across. And usually how I go about that is like there's usually a highlight here, dark line here, kind of build that up a little bit and then fade it out. And how I fade it out with a ballpoint pen, I just separate the lines more and just, you know, draw lighter. If I do this again, I'll probably want to do this in a brighter light condition. Like, I kind of just did this randomly. I was gonna stream Spider-Man, and I was like, you know what? I want to draw today. I just hope I don't get self-conscious and delete it later. Or one of my neighbors doesn't say something stupid and it gets recorded and I have to delete it. It's always a risk when live streaming. I'm also curious about the audio on my phone. I probably could use my laptop, but I would probably have to get a fairly decent webcam. And if this does the trick, I mean, why buy more shit? I'll have candy just in case for Halloween today, but I don't think anybody will show. But luckily, I got stuff that I like. So, worst case scenario, I'm stuck with a bag of Reese's peanut butter cups. Not terrible. This will be the year I get the most trick or treaters ever. It's just my luck. Thinking about adding like hairs on this brain like creature. Just make the teeth a little bit more bold to make them stand out. I should have did this with a micron pen to make it pop a little bit more because it's getting lost in the shade. But, you know, you learn as you go. I tend to prefer drawing surreal because I don't have to stress proportions and stuff like that. I'm not joking. Like a good book, if you want to learn how to draw like people and stuff like that, is How to Draw the Marvel Way. They teach you a lot of things that they told us in college and stuff like that. I mean, it's kind of written to children, but I mean, you get the gist of it. There's a lot of actual good information and examples in that book. I still have a copy to this day. I absolutely adore it. And not because it's Marvel characters. It was one of the most helpful drawing books I've ever had. And though we got stitching, there has to be a line in the cloth. Well, it doesn't have to be, but this is how this particular one was sewn. Obviously, if you were going for realism, the stitching wouldn't be this far apart, but you want it to be noticeable. Kind of looks like it's metal plating the way I did it. I'm gonna shade upward so it looks like some shadows being casted from what it's on top of. The pencil sharpener, that's rattling over here. It's driving me crazy. If you're too scared to shade with pen, I recommend doing pencil. That'll work just as good. The end result that looks good. That's all that matters. You can put fixative on it if you're worried about the pencil like fading away. The only thing is that I recommend if you decide to put pen somewhere, don't use pencil in that area because pen does not adhere to graphite very well. Faye, you got 30 minutes before we go out. Always trying to get more time out of that walk. The weather's kind of crappy. I don't even know when the trick-or-treaters might show up, if they even do. I'm guessing around 5. It's been starting to get dark around that time. Rather quickly, too. Thank you so much. Thank you for checking out my stream. I really appreciate it and the kind words. I'm glad it's coming out well. I just superimposed over both your comments. Yeah, like I'm streaming off of the phone for the first time, so I have no idea how this is coming out. So I'm glad it's coming out well. This is the first time actually have ever really done anything like this on a live stream. I need to get some better lighting. It's hard to see where to put the highlights. But, I'm just trying to have fun here. Nothing too serious. I'm not expecting to hang this up on my wall or anything. So I'm thinking maybe it should be like some sort of entity or something. So I'm gonna make it look almost like a vapor around it that's slowly formed into this shape. There goes that magical sounding car again. Sounds like a Model T Ford. I don't know if the phone's picking it up, but one of my neighbors started their car and it's having troubles. It just sounds like somebody's banging on a metal bucket. Just add in some definition to the neck. Not the most entertaining thing in the world, but it's kind of satisfying doing like the transition between the shading. Oh, thank you so much. Is it Jevta? I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. All right. So the head is almost complete. I remember when I was in Oh, thank you. I'm in the US. Greetings from the US. Yeah, I'm always nervous about pronouncing people's names because I always know I'm gonna say it wrong or I'm pronouncing it wrong. So I guess it's always good to ask. I know a lot of people use really expensive art supplies, but like I encourage everyone to just use what you have. Like the pen I'm using now is like one of the cheapest pens you can buy, and you usually can get like a ton of them for like a low price, like any ballpoint pen that's halfway decent. The type of ballpoint pen I'm talking about is like the ones that people practically just give away, the ones you get for school and stuff like that, that like come in a 10 pack. Those are great as far as I'm concerned. I'm very heavy-handed, so I learned to draw with a pen just because I have a bad habit with pencil, like wiping my whole drawing away with the bottom part of my hand because like I'm always rubbing on my drawing. But if you all are curious in pencil drawing and stuff like that, I can do a drawing like that and tell you the difference between the types of lead and stuff like that and what to use it for. I love these kind of drawings that you kind of have an idea where it goes. Yeah, super expensive materials, they might make your job slightly easier, but you can have the best materials in the world. It's gonna be like who's using them. So like I would never stress like really expensive materials. Like I know in college and stuff they guilt trip you when you use like the cheap materials. I've been a victim of it myself, but that's all I could afford and it's whatever. Whatever you need to do to get your vision across, it doesn't really matter. But I just love these drawings that just slowly form. Like I don't even know what this is gonna be. One minute I said it's an alien, it's NG. What's it gonna be next? Sometimes it's frustrating to plan like a whole drawing in your head and then it change and then you're frustrated because it's not your original vision. So sometimes it's fun just to go with no expectation. Just let it happen. Something that's also probably sacrilegious, but I'll do it anyway, is I rotate my stuff a lot. But it just makes it easier so you don't have to bend your wrist trying to get like those perfect like swirls and stuff like that, like I'm doing here. It'd be so awkward to do it in the position that it was in. Plus, it's way easier to do line work outwards like this. Like going off the screen there. If you haven't guessed, I live on the bottom floor in a city. Faye, calm down. Faye's my dog. She lets me know everyone who's outside, whether I want to or not. Alright, so that gives me some idea what to do next. Just work on the swirls. Just make sure I have everything in camera. Oh, this is just for fun. I was in art school when I was younger. Thank you. when I was in art school, they like used to make us do like 9-hour homework assignments, and they could tell how much time you put into it. Like, so if I turned in like 30 to 1 hour a minute draw, like 1 hour drawing, like I would be roasted. But I just enjoy doodling, so I have an idea when I want to do a larger composition of what I want to do. It's kind of like a practice run. Yeah, it's a lot, especially when you have to work a job at the same time to go to school. And that's like just one of your classes. But most of the time in that class, we would just do still life. They would just, I don't know why it retracted the message. It just says message retracted. So I don't know. Maybe that's something that was deleted. I have no idea how like streaming on here works through a phone. But yeah, most of the time they just had something set up with a hard light, and then we'd have like models and stuff like that coming in. That was really awkward at first, but you got used to it rather quickly because it started feeling like work. I have some alcohol markers I might want to touch up with this later, but I don't know. This paper is kind of thin. I don't think I'll be able to handle it. If you have any experience using those types of markers, which people usually use that when they draw like manga and stuff like that, like they bleed through like 3 sheets of paper. So you might want to make sure you have a piece of cardboard under your drawing if you plan on using them. Otherwise, you waste like 3 sheets of paper. But they're great because you can blend them almost like colored pencils versus like regular markers. Like they come with like a clear marker, and that's what you use to blend with. Yeah, like if you want to draw, all you have to do is like practice and stuff like that. And tutorials and everything, it's all helpful. Everybody has different styles. So like maybe what somebody considers not being able to draw, someone else appreciates. So you never know. With art, it's subjective. Everybody has an opinion of what they think is good. Like even when I see my art, I'm critical of it, and someone else might say, "Oh, it's really good." So you never know. But yeah, like practice makes perfect. I'm like rusty now, and the only way I'll get better is if I just keep practicing. But like drawing is just, I don't know, it just becomes a muscle memory over time when you do it enough. It's just like writing. Yeah. Like I used to take a creative writing class and I love writing, and my stories were awful at first, but because we had a writing journal every day, the more I did it, like I was coming up with stories at least I really liked. That's something else I would like to get back into, honestly, but I probably should start like a writing journal or something like that. Just like if you were to draw, you'd have a sketch pad with you. Just practice makes perfect on anything, really. Maybe not perfect, but good enough, I guess. I'm gonna probably have to stop here though, because it's almost 5 o'clock and I have to take my dog out for a walk. But if this is something that you all are interested in, I might do this more. If this is something that you all enjoy, I'll keep this drawing, like maybe to work on more of it or start a new one, see how it goes. But I appreciate all of you that commented and joined in, and now people are starting to watch right when I have to go, unfortunately. But yeah, if you guys like this, please let me know in the comments section. Yeah, nice talking with you too. It was really pleasant. Yeah, like maybe I'll do this again, maybe later today or a different day, and it'll be on my YouTube page. I'll just leave it on the live archive stream area. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all doing well. I hope this was entertaining for all of you. I mean, it's good that I'm drawing so I can get better. So, talk to you later. Take care. I hope you're all doing well. Bye.